disclaimer, we do speak about drugs and alcohol addiction quite often, and we do swear occasionally. If you feel like you need help ASAP, there are some helplines at the bottom of this video. We hope you enjoy.
Welcome back to the Sober Sesh Podcast with Emily and Katie.
Hello.
We are on episode 3.
We are.
Yes.
We're back.
We are back.
We are sorry. We did say we was going to release an episode once a week, but life gets in the way.
Yeah.
Emily's a busy mum. I'm a busy working gal.
Literally.
And we realised that weeks go by so quick and we can't fit it in.
Absolutely. It's not always realistic for us to be able to get one out each week with the editing that Katie does.
Yeah.
So, 1 to 2 a month.
Yeah, 1 to 2 a month. More bonus. But hopefully definitely once a month.
Yeah.
Then it gives you more time to enjoy the episodes that are released, and we upload shorts and stuff to our socials weekly and stuff, so we think that's manageable.
I totally agree.
So how has your week been, even though I speak to you every single day?
Yes, good.
I think it's been like 3 weeks since we recorded, but how's life been?
No, good. I've been busy with going to meetings, going to church, having fellowship with friends. It's been really nice, and with the weather changing, I mean, don't get me wrong, some days it's been absolutely horrendous hailstones, but
with the
sun but with the sun out more now, I feel like it's that time of year where seasons are changing, you can be outside a bit more.
Vitamin D's in the system.
Needed.
And, the serotonin levels are rising. You don't have the winter depression anymore.
I know, hate that.
Literally.
So how are you? How's things been with you? Mrs. I've just done my 12 steps.
Yes. I put the sound effect in. Yay. So I finished my 12 steps with Emily 2 weekends ago.
Yes.
2 weekends ago. We sat down on a Saturday and we literally, read the last part of the big book.
We did.
And since then, my life I feel like I am having a spiritual awakening. My life's been amazing, and I don't know if it's the placebo, maybe thinking, I'm through it now and finally a recovered alcoholic, but honestly, I just feel so uplifted and I feel like a weight's been lifted off my shoulders. Obviously, we still have this illness our whole life.
Yeah.
But being told I've completed a 12-step program through AA, it's just incredible. I wouldn't have thought I was going to be here 6 months ago. Well, nearly 7 months ago.
I know, it's amazing.
7 months next week. And we had an amazing day that day.
We did.
Didn't we?
We went out and celebrated.
Yeah.
We went out to London.
Do you want to talk about before we went to London?
Oh, goodness me. I've completely forgot about this until you just mentioned it.
We've actually wrote down what we're going to talk about this episode, but we actually didn't put down the biggest thing that happened that day. Do you want to tell the guys?
So basically, we were all ready to go. We'd literally done our bookwork at my house.
We were on cloud 9.
We were all ready, dressed, looking grand, ready for the day. And then we was walking out of my house and to get into the car, and I shut my front door behind me with my front door key in the back of the door, and I couldn't get back in my house, and I couldn't use another key that I had to get back in my house because there was a key on the other side. This was tragic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So tragic. We was literally ready to get in the car and go to London.
But luckily, we had so much time. We booked to go to the Hello Kitty exhibition. And we were, I think it was 2:30, 3?
Yeah.
I think because we were going to go for dinner.
Yeah, we
were going to go for dinner, and just slowly, because we were going to drive down there, because we can drive to the O2 and skip the tube, because we can drive home, because we're not drinking.
Exactly that.
Luckily we had so much time to kill. We had it booked for a certain time and we didn't miss it. But
so I needed help to get back into my house, so I called the first number that I found on Google. And
I thought she was really smart. I was like, she's handled this so well.
I was like, listen, I need to call a locksmith to get into my house.
I didn't even know a locksmith what it was. As soon as she called it, I was like, a locksmith? Oh, yeah.
So I called them up and I was like, look, can't get in my house. I need someone to come out and help me. They said, yep, no problem. The guy will be with you within the hour. I was like, okay, cool. Great. Now we've got to wait an hour.
Yeah,
but
fine. We'll just go to the corner shop. We'll get some sandwiches and we'll sit in the car.
Have some snacks.
Yeah.
Kill some time.
Fine. Have some Red Bull.
Yeah.
Listen to some tunes.
That's it. Then the guy turns up and bearing in mind, I'd asked them on the phone how much it was going to be roughly. And they said from about £49, £50. And I said, okay, cool. You know, I can deal with that.
Ouch, but okay.
Yeah, like I can deal with that.
Yeah.
You know, my fault. You got to pay to learn and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he turns up, he arrived with his toolkit and was like explaining to me what needed to be done. And before he did it, he explained that it was actually going to be more expensive than what I'd anticipated.
He sort of mumbled, you said, didn't
He
he?
did. I didn't quite understand fully what he was saying and how much it was, but I gathered that all in all it was around £150. So I was thinking, right, well, that's a bit of a jump compared to like what I was told on the phone.
Yeah.
But I desperately need to get back in my house, so I'll pay it. And so he done the job very quickly, and I'm talking like within 10 or 15 minutes he was done.
But he sort of said it's a security lock and
yeah,
blah,
like,
blah, blah.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, obviously 2 girls sitting on the driveway all glammed up like, oh, is that the key? Like, probably he's thinking score.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear from other, you know, the men podcast, they're like, fucking stupid bitches. Like,
yeah.
Because you can carry on.
Honestly.
We didn't know.
We didn't know. Like, was so excited to leave my house that I shut the front door and I was like, oh man, the keys are in the back.
Yeah.
So, my bad. But
and we don't know anyone that can get us in the door.
No.
Like, I was trying to think,
I don't know handymen.
No, I don't. And it was a Saturday.
If you are, like, shout out, because
yeah,
we might need you in the future.
Also, you didn't have your little boy for the weekend. You need to get in that house because your little boy was coming home. It's not like you could go home or go to someone else's house. Wait. We had to have something there and then. So yeah. Carry on.
So it come to the end and we said, okay, you know, how do you want to be paid? You know, cash card. And he said, card.
Had his card machine
ready. And then I nipped off to the loo and Katie dealt with it for me. And he'd left and
that was probably another thing he was thinking score, because he didn't tell the price to me.
Yes. So I went to the toilet, and when I came back, Katie was like, you're gonna lose your mind at how much he's just charged you for this.
Can't believe it.
I wanted to cry. Katie was like, he's just charged you £278.
Literally.
Yeah.
I feel like we handled the situation quite well.
We did, because we work a 12-step program. Otherwise, I'd have been like, let's get 10 bottles of wine, because I can't cope with that.
I would have drunk on it for you, because I was then thinking, shit, should I have questioned it when he told me the price? And then he was quite aggressive, like he was, and it was outside your house. I was thinking,
it was scary.
He could take a key from the keys that he gave you and break into
Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean? Like, even though it was a legit company, we did check it out. But
I went on to TripAdvisor, didn't I? And I checked out the company and everyone on there. I should have done this beforehand, but where I was in such a panic to get in my house, I was like, yeah, it's fine, we'll just call them, and you know. But when I actually Googled them on TripAdvisor, everyone was like, "This is a scam. They're going to charge you."
Down all the information.
Oh, it was like red flag. But so that was the start to the day.
The whole journey to London, we were like, it's fine, because this could have happened. Like, Cruz could have been in the house when that happened, and we would have had to break down the door. It would have cost probably the same amount of money.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear anyone in the comments, because I feel like lots of people are going to be like, you fucking ditzy cows. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I was thinking for you. I thought she was fucking intelligent. Like, she's just called a locksmith like that. How? I wouldn't have thought of that.
I did feel a bit like that until it came to the end and we had to pay for it, and it was like, you've just been completely scammed.
But now give us a lesson in life is shut your ADHD brains down, take a breather.
Yeah.
Assess the situation.
Take a breath.
Literally.
God is in the pause.
Look at multiple people and think, is there anyone else that can help you? Like, and then I felt like the whole car journey we were a bit tense, because we were like, oh, but then we was like, it's fine, at least no one died, at least Cruz wasn't there.
Honestly, yeah,
at least we're sober.
Handled it well.
Yeah, but then once the night went on, we were fine, because now we like we said, next time something happens like that, car breakdown, something in the house, like life happens.
Yeah, it does.
We know not to call the first number on Google.
Yeah,
that literally said Isle of Sheppey.
Yeah,
locksmith. Like,
they definitely weren't from the Isle of Sheppey.
No.
It took them at least an hour to get to us.
Exactly. So lesson learned.
Yeah,
I wanted to share that just in case anyone else gets locked out of their house and gets scammed, because more people got scammed. £500. Some people they scammed old little ladies
and more.
So
beware of these companies.
Yeah, money's money. It will come and go, but it's stressful.
So we actually then got to London, and we had a great time. We got to the Hello Kitty exhibition, which Katie was absolutely buzzing for because Hello Kitty is her absolute fave.
Anything Sanrio, Sailor Moon, cute, kawaii, anime, Japanese, I'm into. So
yeah.
And it was, the last weekend it was on. And just so happened we actually booked it that day, didn't we?
Yeah,
we
it
didn't know what we
spontaneous.
were do. Yeah, we literally was just like, what should we do? I was like, fuck it, let's drive into London.
Yeah.
Like, then we went to the gay bar after.
Yeah. We went to GAY.
First time.
I've never been.
Love it.
In Soho.
Yeah. Obviously all the gays know it well, but it's just the best place to go if you want to have a good night. We were just sitting there, people watching,
drinking our Diet Cokes.
Yeah. Well, I had full fat Coke.
Oh yeah. Did we have full fat Coke? Yeah.
You had a Diet Coke. I treated myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was so nice. We just sat there and people watched people drinking, and I wanted to have a bit of a boogie, but there's not much people dancing.
It wasn't super busy.
Yeah, because if you're sober dancing, you can still sober dance.
Absolutely.
But you've got to have more people dancing as well. I feel like you have to have a bit of an atmosphere. So, but it was so good. And we had Chinese bakery food.
We did. That was yummy.
Yeah.
That was really yummy. We watched
bubble tea.
Oh yeah, that was so good.
Oh, that was fucking amazing.
That was really good.
I was literally saying, do you want to go drive to London right after this?
Like, I'm ready because that was so good.
Literally. But then, on the way home, so we obviously left London City, I want to say like 10:30, 11?
I think it was about that.
I think we was in the car at 11.
Yeah.
Obviously clean and sober, getting in the car, playing the tunes. The best part of the night out, I think, for us is always in the way home.
Yeah.
With the tunes going and the sing song.
Yeah.
And then we stopped to get fuel, and then we see all these cars.
They were like meeting up, weren't they?
Yeah, Mercedes cars though, like not boy racers and that.
No.
But I was a bit shocked. I was filling up my car, and then there's this girl and all her girls in the car, all doing NOS balloons, and even the driver, and someone's like bibbing at her, trying to move her car because she's parked it in a petrol bay.
Yeah.
But she's out of it. She's fucking out of it.
Yeah.
And she's driving a brand new Mercedes. And I literally was like, I felt chills because obviously when you're not doing that stuff anymore, you just know, you're just like, oh, like that
makes you
used to
feel
be
some
me.
kind of
not in the
way.
car, or I didn't, but we'll go into more Emily's story in a sec. But yeah, then I sort of went into the car with Emily, and then I was like, oh my god, like look at them girls. And then Emily was like, well, that used to be me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, yeah. So do you want to go more into your NOS addiction? Because it was obviously drugs, but NOS was a big thing in your life, wasn't it?
It was like.
Is it called NOS? It is NOS, isn't it?
Yeah.
NOS.
Balloons, NOS, whippets, hippie crack, all that kind of. Yeah. So balloons had a massive impact on my life. I would say for me, that was the most addictive thing I'd ever tried in my entire life. You know, like when you see people on a night out and they're like chain smoking, like in the smoking area. I was the person that was chain ballooning all night. I had a balloon in my mouth all night. Like people are trying to talk to me and I'm trying to have conversations, but there's a balloon in my mouth the whole time. I couldn't leave it alone. Like I got to a point where in lockdown I was ordering them from Amazon, and don't do this, but I was ordering them from Amazon, and I could literally only afford to buy one box of like, I don't know, 12. And I knew that when the Amazon guy arrived and was, you know, delivering my parcel, I kept saying to myself, right, you're going to make them last. You're going to make these 12 amazing, incredible balloons last. And they were gone within seconds. And I was like, why can't I control this? Like, I just want to do it for fun. But this is now taking over my life to the point where I'm ordering it online.
It's
doing
so
it.
insane. You can get them
honestly.
So insane.
Ordering it, doing it by myself, and then thinking, I need something else now because that's all gone. Like, I need drink, I need drugs, I need so many other things just to keep that high. And for me, balloons was the biggest high, and I was always chasing that high.
Because it's about 30 seconds.
Honestly, it doesn't last long at all.
No, but probably less than that. If anyone's never done them, obviously we do not recommend.
No, absolutely not.
It's a very euphoric head rush.
Yeah.
That makes your brain go whoop, whoop.
Yeah. I was this close to being hospitalised because I was going through feelings in my body where I couldn't feel the left side of my body. Like
that's the sign of a stroke, and
literally,
that's what you hear. Cases people do it too much.
Honestly,
their whole body starts to. What is it?
It's like the nervous system in your body.
Wasn't it on Top Boy? there was a guy
I don't know.
who, it was one of the main characters, someone correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, he walks around like that because he had a stroke. But they made it apparent in Top Boy as a story. That was from Nos.
Right. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's basically nearly what happened to you.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like, I remember going on these massive benders, doing so many balloons, like to the point where I was shocked that I wasn't dead, because the lack of oxygen that was going to my brain, and like, I don't know how I didn't die. Like, the left side of my body, I couldn't feel. I'd get into bed after being awake for so long, and I just had pins and needles completely in my leg, and that didn't stop me though.
Insane,
that
isn't it?
fear of losing feeling in the left side of my body and potentially being paralyzed didn't stop me from doing it. Still, I continued to do it, and it got worse and worse and worse, to the point where I'd be driving to work when I worked in Blue Water, and I'd be doing them whilst I'm driving at like, I don't know, 9 a.m. I couldn't leave it alone.
I couldn't even imagine driving on them. That's how shows how bad Emily's addiction got.
So bad.
That you had to drive with them.
Yeah.
Like, I did them quite a lot, more in my early 20s, more in my late. I remember going to a rave and being on so much cocaine.
Yeah.
And I've been on so much cocaine days prior, taking a balloon and thought I was going to pass out.
Yeah.
And that put me off, and I felt hot, and I felt I was going to be sick.
Yeah.
And I was like, normally I'm not the one to say no to anything.
Yeah.
Like, but not. I was like, I can't do that shit.
Yeah.
So when Emily explained that to me, I was like, fucking hell, like that is insane.
Yeah.
And even like, how did you drive?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like, I was trying to duck down whilst doing it, whilst keeping my eyes on the road and not swerving. I don't know how I didn't die. God was looking out for me, I'm telling you. Like, because I should have died. I could have potentially killed other people. That's how serious it was. I then kept them in my car, in the door of my car.
Yeah.
And if I had a break at work, the first thing I'd be doing is getting in my car and doing it, and then going back to work after. Like, it was absolutely insane, like how it gripped hold of me so bad. And it made me so unwell, like mentally unwell, physically unwell.
Yeah, because it's the oxygen to your brain.
Yeah, yeah. And literally the only thing that stopped me from doing it was when I was then pregnant with Cruz. I did absolutely nothing through my pregnancy. I didn't drink alcohol. I didn't touch a drug, nothing. But then as soon as I'd had Cruz, I was like, oh, I think I'll be all right now because I've had a time away from it. I'll be able to control it now. I'm not going to be so hot with everything and, you know, addicted to it all. But addiction is a progressive illness. So it doesn't matter how long you stay away from it. As soon as you start doing it again, you're going to pick up where you left off. And that was my story. I then went back to doing all these drinks and drugs.
Because you still got that little devil in your head.
Yeah, like the addiction and the alcoholism, the illness is still there. So it didn't leave me in that time. It was always there in the back of my head because when I was pregnant, I then just, obviously you get pregnancy cravings and you want to eat more, but I just could not stop eating and I put on so much weight. Like once you stop one thing, another thing pops up and then you have to control that. Addiction is like of so many different things. Yeah. But yeah, like I should have been dead. It was so bad.
Honestly, when you told me about it, I was like, that's insane. And no one talks about NOS addictions. I've never seen anyone online talk about it. Maybe it's just not coming to my algorithm. Yeah. But I'm really happy that you have shared it because there's probably so many people out there.
So many.
That NOS is so, like, even weed, it's so, like, played down to how addicted it is. Like, it's still something that can harm you. I know there's a big speculation around weed because it's legal in other countries. But relying on something to get you through the day, that is a form of addiction. And you shouldn't have to rely on it. Obviously, people with diabetes need to rely on insulin and stuff like that.
100%.
But you shouldn't be forcing your body to rely on something, especially freaking NOS.
Literally.
That's insane.
There was a time I remember where, I think this was maybe in lockdown as well, where I think I ordered like a really big crate of them. So there was 24 boxes. And I was like, right, this is great because this is going to last us a long time. I'll just like stick to doing a little bit every day or a couple of boxes. And then I'll probably feel like I've had enough. When I say in the space of 24 hours, those 24 boxes were gone, they were gone. Like, it was so bad. And like, I urge anyone that has ever tried balloons or is addicted to them, like, just stop. Like, and if
As
someone
said and done,
offers it,
stop it.
literally, if someone offers it to you, don't even go there, because it is so addictive.
Literally.
So addictive.
Yeah. And yeah, but it's so good that you're not doing it anymore, because you could have probably had a stroke or lost the side of one.
Brain damage.
Literally. And then
all
Cruz
kinds
would have
of
had a
things.
mum that was disabled or just from that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
like, it's just not worth it. Not worth it, guys. So, yeah.
Don't touch balloons. Only the ones you blow up for parties.
Literally.
And not with Nosin.
Yeah. That's
not
it.
with living either, because apparently that's dangerous.
Yeah, exactly that. So, and do you know, it triggers me sometimes if I've blown balloons up for like my son's birthday or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this takes me
PTSD.
back massively. So
I bet.
sometimes I'm a bit like, oh, I don't really want to do it because it
Just
takes
get one
me
of them
back. A pump.
Yeah.
Good
Do that.
idea.
Yeah.
We're problem solvers.
Or just get someone professionally doing it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I never really got addicted to NOS or anything, but something that I've been addicted to and Emily's never been is nicotine. I've been saying my whole sobriety, I'm not addicted to nicotine. I just like it. I just love a cigarette, especially in the sun. Yeah. And I love going out and just having a cigarette. I love the feeling, the sensation. But then I've realised I am addicted. Yeah. Because soon as someone mentions a cigarette, I really want one and I can't stop thinking about it. I'm not one of these people that wakes up and has a cigarette. My nicotine addiction started more overseas when I was in Japan, because I could smoke in restaurants and I could smoke in clubs, and it would be, they call them kiddie cigarettes, so they're like really small. But then when I went to Bali, that's when I would be waking up and having a cigarette on my balcony, because it was hot, it was summer, and I was drinking in the morning in Bali as well. And I always used to be the advocate of, I can't have a cigarette until I've had a drink. That's not the case anymore. I will, now I'm even thinking about it, as soon as we've finished recording it, my brain's going, you can have a cigarette after. So yeah, but I really want to stop it, because it's, again, I just went to something, I just talked about insulin and like, do you know what I mean, having something that gets you through the day. Nicotine I don't need nicotine in my life, but it's something that I enjoy, especially vaping in the car, so I'm a hypocrite. But then I've realised, I just went to a retreat at the last weekend, and it was very like socially active, and I had to like be engaging with people, and I went for work, and it was lovely, beautiful retreat. But I felt myself going out for a cigarette and to have a breather, but then I realised, because someone mentioned on that retreat, like, oh, I'm an introvert that needs to be recharged. And I realised I go out for cigarettes in social occasions, especially on my own, because I am actually an introvert. It's hard. I think sometimes it's hard to believe, because I am quite a people person. But I've realised what an actual introvert is. An introvert is still, you can still be sociable, and you can still be like wanting to be around people, but you have to recharge to be around people. And I use my nicotine for that. So I'll go out for a cigarette and I'll use that as an introvert recharge, or a vape, because I stop for a sec and I'm not with people, and I use the cigarette as an excuse, even though I do love the sensation of nicotine. But that's something I've got to work on. That's my next
thing to tackle.
People say don't go cold turkey, obviously, because if you're trying to battle all your addictions at once, then you should stop. So, but the smoking ban's just been put in place in the UK. Have you heard about it?
No.
So anyone born, I think it's this year, someone correct me if I'm wrong, will never be able to buy cigarettes in the UK ever.
Right.
Yeah. So from now until they're 18, in 18 years time, every shopkeeper has to check every single person's ID to see if they're 2024 born. Right. I think that's it. But that everyone's kicking off going, well, that's just stupid. I think that's perfect, because it's the generation of smoking is going to die down. Vapes aren't going to be a thing soon. Vapes are going to be illegal soon. Because everyone's abusing them. I'm a culprit of that. I vape in the car. And I feel like it's just going to fade the smoking generation out, which I think is amazing. Because if I couldn't smoke, if I could stop smoking, I would. So literally,
it's like another one of those things where, you know, alcohol is so readily available, and it's a drug, isn't it? And it's the same with nicotine.
Exactly.
It's an addictive substance, a drug. But it's always been so readily available for people. So if it's not as much, you like to think that, you know, it would calm down a bit and people might think twice. But even just by us doing this podcast and talking about it, we hope that it might make people think twice about the decisions that they make, because, it causes a lot of problems, doesn't it? You know, like with your health and your mental well-being.
Yeah, I know when I've been smoking too much, I get headaches. I've got asthma. I shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
And when I don't, I just feel so much more better. So I don't get why. It's the addiction brain though. Yeah. Because it's just like, it's not telling you at the time when you're having a cigarette.
Yeah, that's it.
Do you need this? No.
Yeah.
So we've had a lot of people in our DMs asking us about guest appearances on the podcast. We will have some in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just that we need to juggle our lives and recording these. So we don't want to commit times to people and set dates and then have to cancel. Because, obviously mum, work, everything. So we thought we'd do a fun little segment to get people involved. You can message us in our DMs, or you can comment below on the videos or the shorts and put your own thing in. Obviously, if you want it anonymous, go through our DMs and tell us you want it anonymous. Some people don't want to share about their embarrassing addiction stories, but we're calling this segment Confessions of an Alcoholic. So we want to have a bit of a laugh about things we used to get up to. Obviously never
not condoning anything.
Condone it.
No,
it's embarrassing stories that make us look back and think, fuck, I'm so happy I'm not like that.
It's just to help us be a lot more grateful.
Literally. And it's a bit of fun. Obviously everyone was a bit of a dick sometimes, and obviously we still thought we was having fun at the time, and sometimes you look back and you did have fun, but we just want to talk about it and have a bit of a laugh and stuff. So
have you got a story for us?
I want to start sharing mine's I think if I dug deep in my brain I could probably think of more embarrassing ones, but we're going to use this segment at the end of the podcast every week. So my one was when I first started going out when I was 18. I'm 27 next week. And I don't know why this has always stayed with me, but I was never a blackout drinker. Don't get me wrong, I did black out a few times, but I was a functioning alcoholic. And then, so it was for one of my friend's birthdays, and we went to Piccadilly Institute in London Piccadilly. And I remember that was when my binge drinking really started, and I was mixing vodka and wine, and I hadn't eaten anything all day.
Schoolboy error.
Literally. Like, what the hell? And then I just remember because we got a table there, Piccadilly Institute, and then there's like wine and vodka on the table as well. So I'm downing it like there's no tomorrow. Threw up under the table and threw up all over myself. I was never a throwing up either. So embarrassing. My friends were so pissed off with me. Like, do you know what I mean? It is really annoying when someone is the thrower up.
You ruin the night,
or
really,
the
don't
paralytic person. You do ruin the night. If anyone's ever told you, no, you're fine, it happens. No, you are embarrassing.
Yes.
You are.
You're embarrassing.
Control your drink. Or don't drink. And then I got escorted out by bouncers. I blacked out for a bit, but I do remember I was in like this corridor, the back of Piccadilly Institute. Piccadilly Institute is shit, by the way. Don't ever go there. I don't know what it's like there now. And then people were around me, and then I think there was like a medic or something, because my eyes were probably rolling to the back of my head. And then I remember walking out and my friend trying to follow me, and I'm going, go away. I've ruined everyone's night. Fuck off. And I remember walking into like Piccadilly where all the lights were, just being like, what the fuck? You know, this was when I was 18, so I hadn't really been to London quite a lot. I had, but like not on nights out. And then I think I threw up again, but I had sick all down my like smart black coat, and I wiped my face with it. And then I just remember someone grabbed me and they all got a taxi home. I think it was earlier than anticipated. And I'm in the car and they're like, you stink. Like, you fucking stink of sick. So I'm just like, oh, for God's sake. And I ended up grabbing my bag, falling asleep, because my friend was in a student accommodation. I'm not going to say my friends' names, but if they do listen to it, they probably do know this night well. They're my school friends. And then I grabbed my bag, and then I couldn't get out of the building because it's a student uni complex. So you need like tags everywhere. But so then I just fall asleep in this random corridor with my coat over me, wet myself. And then someone's tapping me on my shoulder. Like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, it's fine, I'm just waiting for my friend to be like, I think one of my friends did let me in after, because I really needed to pee again. And And then I think I just walked out, and then the sun started coming up, and then I remember doing this fucking not GTA, but like combat warfare, like
G.I. Jane.
Yeah.
G.I. Jane? G.I. Joe?
Chucked my bag over this security gate, walked up this security gate, jumped over, grabbed it, looking for cameras, and just running. Sick all over me, piss all over me. And then literally running to the train, being on the train, steaming still because you're still drunk from the night before. I think I had a boyfriend at the time and I was crying to him on the phone. Got in, and then I got a taxi home, stunk out the taxi, and yeah. That's the most embarrassing story I could think of. Even though that was ages ago when I was 18. That's why I need to really unravel in my brain more when I was older. But because, like I said, I was a functioning alcoholic, and when I did start taking cocaine quite regularly, you do start to not control your drink, but you don't get black out as much, and you're more paranoid, and you just sort of go into yourself and stuff. There's probably loads of embarrassing shit that I've done that I didn't even realise, but that's the only thing I can remember at the minute. But so please, send us a story in if you've got something that you think's funny. But obviously, we're not saying this behaviour is good. It's just funny to talk about.
Yeah, we can look back at it now and think, wow, you know, look how far we've come. And if you've also, you know, become sober or clean, and you've got a funny story that you can look back on now and think, oh, actually, you know, I can laugh about it now, because do you know what? If we don't laugh, we'll cry.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So that's a little segment we're going to do.
So yeah, that's it for episode 3 of our Sober Sesh podcast. Thank you so much for watching, if you got this far. And yeah, we'll be back again soon with episode 4.
Yeah. And like I said, don't think it's weekly. It's going to be when we can.
Yes.
Patience.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you for listening.
Thank you. Yeah. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.